today was the PlayStation conference, so we've come together to do the daily roundup and today talk through the amazing conference that we saw. We're going to try and talk about as many games that was on stage as kind of humanly possible.
There were a lot though.
There were an awful lot of games.
Yeah.
So let's kick it off with games that were announced on stage E3. So not stuff that kind of leaked before that we saw trailers of. This is stuff that was new on stage.
Yeah.
And I'm going to start with Little Big Planet 3.
Yeah.
Ah.
Rob had a favourite.
Toggle was my favourite.
Yeah, he was
I
good.
like how he was able to go from being fat to being small and how that helped him in the level.
Is it because that's your personal dream, isn't it, Rob?
When he
That's
was
your own personal
fat,
journey.
he was able to make the spring go down, then he lost weight. Propelled himself up.
I like Swoop.
I like Swoop, dude, but like, he flies, right? And I can
Yeah.
barely jump in that game. And how the hell am I going to control a bird?
Odd sock.
You're
Odd sock.
Oddsock, yeah.
Odd sock.
just odd sock.
That just leaves
Trying
Sackboy for
really
you.
hard to do his wall
Sackboy.
jumping.
You've got the Pumpinator.
The Bumpinator.
You're not the
So
first to
Little
say
Big
that.
Planet was adorable, and from the purely adorable onto Bloodborne.
Yeah,
a
oh
game
God.
which I think people who've kind of been following the news pre-E3 might have seen something, but probably not under the name of Bloodborne because it was still going under its codename Project Beast.
Yeah.
It was incredible when the name Miyazaki came up on stage.
Yeah.
People went nuts.
Jeez.
It was my favourite bit of the conference actually. Was the
Layered.
Bloodborne, everybody.
Yeah.
Directed by Miyazaki.
Oh! And then From Software
And
came
then-
up.
and
Oh!
cheering and
Well,
yeah.
I'm a recent convert to the Dark Souls,
There
Demon
were people
Souls
at home cheering
universe.
at that kind
I
of.
know. Yeah. Well, and all the cliches are true. But I spent like 70 hours over the last month completed Dark Souls. It's not like I've got a job or children, so that's fine. And so like I feel like now I've earned the right to be excited about this game. I'm excited, everybody.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome. It looks like it's kind of more modern day than the existing kind of Dark Souls and Demon Souls games.
Yeah.
Something slightly different, but also definitely the trailer suggests also the same in lots of important
unremittingly
ways.
bleak and probably really, really
Yeah,
hard.
just
Yeah.
killing sort of horrible, hollowed out humans and
Yeah.
like, scary dogs
And a pram.
and a pram.
Yeah, Dave's all up in the symbolism stuff.
Oh yeah, there
I saw
was
blood. I saw a pram.
There we go.
Bloodborne.
That's the level
Got
they're
me.
working at.
Although the
And
Bourne
you, Dave.
had an E on it like a town, but we don't
There's
worry about
probably
that.
an E somewhere else.
Yeah, that
Missed,
probably is,
probably
yeah.
written down.
You watch the trailer again and watch it slowly.
Yeah,
But all
I'll get
break
it.
down.
I'll get it. I'll go frame by
We'll
frame.
unlock it.
And continuing with the bleak zombie blood theme, I guess it's going to be Dead Island 2, which that trailer was
Wasn't that bleak though, was it?
impeccable.
It was,
trailer.
yeah. The
Trailer-
trailer was great though.
The trailer was kind of bleak. Everyone kind of died.
But it was. But it
That's
had
true.
a
Yeah.
Really funny.
Yeah, that's the
Right.
thing.
Perfectly
Yeah.
pitched.
For anyone who didn't see it, Dead Island, when it was announced, had a kind of a CGI trailer that just...
It
the
sold
whole
a different
industry-
game. It didn't sell. It was huge.
Incredible.
Yeah.
It did its job, but it was a trailer for a game that Dead Island wasn't. Whereas this looks like this is funny. You know, like
Yeah.
Dead Island is a funny game. This is going to be.
It's
Yeah.
so hard to pitch a trailer like that as well. Like it genuinely was funny and like fun, and I don't know. It's just so hard to find that balance, but I think they really did. It looks great. I want to know more about it for
I
sure.
kind of got the music in my head as well. The whole thing, you're kind of tapping your hand along, and you're like, oh
Yeah.
great, everyone's just dying and going to sleep. I just want to dance.
The audience sounded ready for a new Dead Island as well. Everyone seemed quite excited about
That was
it.
quite a nice one to throw in the conference as well. It was a bit of a curveball because
Yeah.
the conference was done with a bit of a narrative. People had sent in letters, and they were pulling bits off the letters and using that to kind of drive the conference forward, and that was a kind of zombie bit.
Yeah.
It's quite nice. And one of the other big games that came from the letters was Grim Fandango.
Yeah.
Which anyone who kind of remembers Grim Fandango, which Rob doesn't. So we're now going to all look at Rob, and Rob's going to look at us a bit confused,
Look at
and
his
Nathan is going to try and
stupid
explain
face.
Grim Fandango, because there will be people young enough to not have played
Back
Grim.
in the olden days, Tim Schafer made loads of excellent adventure games, basically just with a pencil, and it inspired a lot of people who are about my age who now make other fantastic games.
You don't make any
to make
fantastic
their own
games,
games.
just so you know.
No, I don't. But I've just aged.
Well, I
Yeah.
guess,
Same.
I guess it was exciting due to the volume of the cheer when it was announced.
And
Yeah,
it's super
exciting.
exciting.
Fandango, and I was
And it's exciting
Yeah.
for like a really like core of people who really love games,
great.
and I like that it's been made possible because like by this huge corporate machinations of Disney bought LucasArts and now Disney's doing some deals with Sony, and so we get to play a great game.
It's good.
It's the first game I had to go on the
Lovely place.
internet and find a walkthrough for as well. It's
Did
not
the
not
internet
easy.
exist back then?
It did, yeah. It was just text. So the walkthrough was just a text, and you had to, you know, when you'd done a bit of the game, you'd have to read all that and go, I've done that, I've done that. It was hard.
Yeah, for anyone who hasn't kind of played Grim Fandango, it's part of that kind of PS1 era of things like Gek, Croc, Crash Bandicoot. It kind of all got kind of lumped in with them. But you'll recognise the character when you Google it, which you're going to do after this because you need to do that. Another one for Rob, this one, Abzu.
Yeah.
ABZU, little thing above it.
Yeah.
From Giant Squid.
This
Yeah.
'cause it's made by the people who, some of them who made
Journey,
And
yeah.
Journey was my game of the generation. Because it just let you go around a beautiful place and not have to worry about anything else. Not have to worry about stupid enemies getting in the way and ruining the exploration of a beautiful world, which is all I want to do sometimes. And I love the marine environment. I love my marine biology.
You love a whale?
I love a whale. There were no whales getting horribly wailed and
Minced.
butchered and mutilated and strung up and
Well, not that we'd seen yet.
Ah,
It was only a
boy,
trailer.
get me the harpoon, I've caught me a whale.
Exactly.
You know, I like Rob's such an angry man most of the time, like
Yes.
a brutally angry man. This is like his pacifier, just put me in like a place where there's just hush,
Yeah.
and some exploration and some nice lighting.
Yeah.
I like to think these games are what stopped Rob just going to kind of the white noise fade and just throwing things around the
Yeah.
office.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you're probably right. Quick, put the Journey screensaver on.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, now that we've come off that game, I think it's only right to segue into Suda51's game.
Yeah.
which
Let It Die.
Let It Die, which
Didn't
looked
really understand
brutal and, as a Suda game should, very confusing. I thought it was
Yeah.
going to be Lily, which is a game that's announced at the Japan PlayStation 4 press conference pre their launch. And we haven't seen anything from it since. And then this appeared, and I'm not sure even what it is.
I know people die in this game. That's
There was
literally
death.
what
You have to let
I
it
know.
die.
Yeah.
There was death accompanied by hit points, like really horrible bits of violence, and then a number to symbolise how much violence there was.
Video game.
Guns.
Smash in the head, that's 29.
There was guns and an axe.
We don't really know much
There
about
was an
it.
It's
axe.
Suda.
It's
Suda's
gonna be-
doing his thing
It's going to
again.
be
Yeah.
nuts and silly, and some people will love it, and others will be like, what the earth is this?
What is
Rob-
Suda trying to
Rob
tell me
tells
this
the
time?
future.
Yeah.
Yeah. go on.
But apart from games that were announced, there were loads and loads of stuff on stage that kind of already been announced pre-E3. One of the first E3s where I felt like we'd seen a lot of stuff announced before the shows had started. And then the whole point was you tuned in to see the gameplay, and that's what we saw on our stage.
Yeah.
Kicking that off with new Far Cry.
Wow.
The gameplay
Looks
looked
alright.
sick.
Looks alright. Weaponized
Unbelievable.
elephants, everybody. I
Ah.
think this is peak video game. Weaponized
Yeah.
elephants. We've arrived now. This is it. This is what we've all been
Pack up,
working.
kids,
Yeah.
go home. Show's
Yeah.
over. We're fine
It's just an example of how a series gets bigger, like literally. In Far Cry 3 you had tigers and leopards.
Steve,
Yeah.
Steve the leopard.
Steve the leopard.
He
and
betrayed
now
us.
Chris the elephant.
Chris
Yeah.
the elephant.
Just destroying things.
Yeah. It'll be
also
Wales.
people-
Maple
Around.
trunk. Oh yeah, that bit where he grabs the man and just tosses him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He went flying. It was
There'll be
really
whales in Far
satisfying.
Cry 5. I like that he didn't, the player didn't really shoot the car too much either, because
I know,
he
yeah.
was like,
I'm saving this.
Here comes the elephant.
Yeah, you stay
boom.
there, car.
But it seems like,
that?
yeah, well, there was so much. I mean, what I was going to say is it seemed like they really caught on to what was good about Far Cry 3, because their little tagline was something like every second a story.
Every moment is.
You
Every-
two are really cute when you say that.
It was
together.
definitely second, and that was just so true of Far Cry 3, because like the whole thing was just you
run
just
the
wander
world,
around the world.
wanting things to happen.
Stuff would
to
happen
other
completely
stuff.
randomly. You just stumble on things happening, and
Like
this
Steve the
guy
Leopard.
drove like a lorry off a cliff, and then like base jumped down and landed by a elephant,
It was
and then he
extreme.
invited his mate to come in
Yeah.
over
Herc.
PSN in a little
Herc came.
micro light, and
his
then they
friend,
blew up a
right,
base.
His friend might even have Far Cry. That was the other big kind of announcement. Was
That's a ridiculous
let's say
announcement.
hypothetically, because Rob wouldn't do it. Let's say Nathan was playing and
Yeah.
wanted to play with Dave, and Dave didn't have Far Cry. Nathan could still invite Dave to come and play Far Cry with him, which is insane.
That is
when you
insane.
think
I
about
don't
it.
understand how that works.
Neither do I.
I'm
But
sure
it's
that'll all
going
be
to.
explained in the futures.
It feels
Yeah.
like the future.
The future is gonna
today, a better
Why
place.
would I not do that?
Because you don't like Dave that much.
You don't play well with others.
Yeah,
No.
you know.
Yeah,
If
he-
you were an animal on a ship being transported to the new world, that's what it would be written on your box.
Yeah,
But with anything else.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
does not play well with others.
yeah. Also,
It's
nailed by
very
mouth,
close.
it would
Rob
also
does
say.
like Dave, but Rob is a solitary animal,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
we have to be careful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all it is. That's fine.
Back to solitary animals then. No Man's Sky.
Oh, that was good. That was a good thing.
I've
looked
been
unbelievable.
asking the team, kind of the Shahid's team, like Ben and Spencer, who kind of help get these things on PlayStation.
They're the big kind of indie team, right?
Yeah, I was like, ever since it kind of got announced with Spike VGA, like, when you bring it to PlayStation, is it going to be to PlayStation, please?
But
And
that's a massive, because we didn't know, right? Because
I did no idea.
I mean, it was when they released it, there was tons of buzz around it at the VGAs, but it was platform agnostic. And yeah, this is so now we know it's coming to PlayStation 4 first.
Since it's your thing,
It looks like
why
my
don't you
perfect
explain
game.
what it is?
It's my absolute perfect game, my dream game. If I could say, just describe a game I want to play, it would be that. I want to get in a ship, go in an ocean, and then fly out of the planet and into another planet, and there to be lasers and dinosaurs.
That's all I want. That's
quite a
all I
specific
want.
brief, you know. It's almost
Just
like
look
looking
at
at
stuff.
That's great.
And you can just go and look at stuff. And someone needs to tell Hello Games that they can't make an infinite game.
All right, yeah.
You can't
Let's
go
go
from
find
making
them.
a game about a
They're
little
in a
man
bar
on a
just down the
bike
road, actually, Rob. We could find them. Just tell them.
to making a game that's infinite.
Yeah. No, you've not done the maths
Silly.
there, Hello
Yeah.
Games. What are you
Silly,
thinking?
but if they've done it, and it looks like they have from the
Yeah.
gameplay,
Yeah.
just seamlessly out of one planet into another planet, it's going to be the
What's-
best game ever made.
I spoke to one of the guys who works with them. I spoke to him, and that was the trailer that they always wanted to make, just to show the possibilities of the world. I think it's like it proper blows you away. So.
And it
And
was-
Yeah.
for anyone who doesn't know, these are the guys who made Joe Danger.
Yeah.
And there's like 4 or 5 of them.
I love Joe
And they
Danger.
spent most of Christmas underwater when we had the bad flooding in England. They
Yeah.
lost their entire office. They were like coding from laptops, like while things sort of float past them.
Turns out they were doing well.
brutal.
They were doing
Yeah.
well. And also, I will say, finally on this, best trailer music of E3, definitely.
Yeah,
65
it was.
days off static.
And just that list of authors he also reeled off: Heinlein, Asimov, Clark.
It's a
It's
good list.
just brilliant.
Yeah.
All of those people make the best sci-fi. It's really cool.
So from small studios to massive studios and big publishers, Warner came twice to the PlayStation stage, which was incredible to see. First of all, with childhood favourite, Mortal Kombat X.
Yeah.
There was like the announcement was last week, and this is the time we saw gameplay footage. We saw 2 new characters, and we saw Scorpion and Sub-Zero, which is like classic Mortal Kombat. It looked incredible.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Do you know, so much talk of emotion at this year's E3 from the conferences I've been to. It's sort of like even in FIFA, we want you to feel the game, and it's good to see Mortal Kombat. We're just going to break everyone's
Yeah.
spine, leave the
Yeah.
stage, and everyone's going to go finish crazy.
Here's something you really don't want to feel. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Your neck being broken.
Yeah.
It's a really good as well Western fighting game. There aren't really like a great deal of Western. It's always fighting games always come from Japan, but Mortal Kombat just does it time and time again. So from Mortal Kombat to Warner's amazing second big hitter, Batman Arkham Knight.
Yeah.
We're seeing
Yeah.
some gameplay footage, which is incredible. This kind of really focused on showing you how big Gotham was.
Yeah.
And
Vertical.
getting straight into Batmobile, driving,
I know.
shooting, getting back out of Batmobile, how kind of seamless
The
that was.
Batmobile strafes.
Yeah.
Dave. My car doesn't strafe.
No,
What
no.
car do you have?
I've got a Ford Focus C-Max.
That's
But
why it doesn't
Oh.
I
strafe.
guess my the Batmobile does lots of things that my Ford Focus
Yeah.
C-Max
Does
doesn't.
your Ford do the guns as well? Does it do the
No,
guns?
and I can't launch out the windshield of my Ford Focus.
You can if you don't wear your
into the
seatbelt
sky.
and you drive into a wall, as I've
Yeah,
been
but I
telling
then
you to
don't-
do.
I don't then gracefully fly into the Gotham sky.
No, that's true.
That never happened.
But
No.
this game did have one thing that Rob's been.
Yeah, the best bit
super
about
excited.
Batman
Yeah.
is the cape. It's not the
Rob
Batmobile,
says
it's
with
the
absolute
cape.
authority.
Just the way it crinkled and the light reflected off it,
Crinkle
and the little
tech.
droplets of rain were just on it. Looked
Yeah.
beautiful. The way he moved and it just,
I'm not going to argue with you, Rob,
Perfect
but
game.
you are insane.
Are you sure this wouldn't be your favourite game, Rob? Not Batman, just some sort of cape simulator.
cloth and water physics simulator.
Yeah.
Just have cloth on water,
Different
texture
textures.
crinkling about.
Interacting with different liquids.
Yeah.
Lots of dinosaurs slowly.
With laser beams.
Yeah.
So from Rob's favourite capes to Rob's probably favourite series, we saw Metal Gear Solid 5, Phantom Pain. We saw what is the most insane trailer cinematic, edited and directed by Hideo Kojima on the stage. Fill us in, what was all that?
Yeah,
I've
Rob.
absolutely no idea what the hell that trailer was about.
I'm
It looks good though.
Absolutely no
Because I was sat
idea.
there going, Rob's played all the MGS games. I'm going to ask him what's going on.
There's
That
some
man's
men
lost a
kicking
leg.
each other,
Some people are
and Snake
hugging.
putting
Now they're crying.
ash of a dead man on
we
his
saw
face.
it, the same knife a lot. That
And
same
some
knife
blood.
got a lot of
Yeah,
airtime.
loads of knife
That knife's
symbolism.
symbolic.
Yeah.
Did anyone listen to the lyric? I realised halfway through how important music is
Nuclear Man.
to everyone, really. And
Yeah,
I
my
didn't,
fault.
and I was like, oh, I've not listened to this music. I've
Yeah,
now
yeah.
missed out what's going on.
Well, it's, but I assumed what I got from it top line was that MGS has always been. It's like an anti-war
Yeah.
series about nuclear disarmament, right? So it was just a
Yes.
song about
That's
being.
very top
That's
line.
one of the
Nuclear
many
man.
themes.
But that's more than
Yeah,
I
yeah,
got,
yeah.
so that's good. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
But
Yeah.
I think that we'll play Phantom Pain and then we'll realise what the trailer was about.
Yeah, definitely. It
But until
piqued my
then-
interest, whatever. It was mad, but in a
Well,
good
it's gonna
way.
be
It looked amazing. And
Ground Zeroes is amazing. And it's just beautifully designed and deliberate.
The motion capture in the trailer was excellent as well. Some of the movement was just so
I'm
natural.
looking forward to it. I'm a big Metal Gear fan. Sometimes they confuse the hell out of me, but I am also a Metal
They're
Gear
never
Solid 2 fan,
anything
so
less
make
than
of that what you
exceptional.
will.
Metal Gear games.
They're not. They're in Kojima's up there. God tier.
I agree.
There you go. That's what you are, Kojima. You're God tier. So moving on then to more God tier stuff. The Order, which looked insane. We saw a new gameplay trailer which showed us the enemy for this kind of first time, the main
Is
enemy.
it a werewolf? I didn't even.
Yeah, it was like a werewolf, I think.
Like a werewolfy creature thing.
Yeah.
Pajamas.
Game looks incredible. A lot of cinematic to gameplay, which seems to be really big with current, like I say current gen, we mean next gen.
It seems like a
That's
way of
insane.
people just to say this is how good it looks on PS4. You know, just deal with it. Deal with it.
It also looks like a game that I won't be playing anymore because it's terrifying. It was terrifying. I was sat there terrified.
You did, actually, I heard you say this looks a bit scary.
It was scary.
Didn't
Shoot
show it being scary before, and all of a sudden you're in the dark with a torch, and there's a horrible werewolf.
That werewolf was
to find you.
terrifying.
Yeah.
And then he was chasing me, and my
it
guns were
spoke
useless.
As well, werewolves are usually just like. This one
Yeah.
Yeah.
was
No.
talking.
Yeah, it looked incredible.
I'm
but terrifying.
really, really excited for the Order. That Victorian, and it's not steampunk. It's neo-Victorian.
Neo-Victorian.
That's my jam. That's the high fantasy sci-fi thing is totally my jam.
Yeah.
So I'm all over that. Moving swiftly along then, we are going to go to Destiny.
Wow.
Yes.
Quite a lot of Destiny. Opened with Destiny, which is incredible. We had like the big screens at PlayStation conference that kind of span around
Mega
the whole
curved
auditorium.
screen.
Yeah.
Mega curved screen.
See all the landscapes.
So we see that the beta got a date.
Yeah.
We got a PlayStation exclusive alpha, which
Yeah.
got a date. And then they announced the white PlayStation, the Glacial
Glacial White.
Glacial White PlayStation bundle, which would be available on the game's release, which is crazy. It's a white PlayStation. It's stunning.
Sign me up.
It looks beautiful. Even more, I mean, I'm more excited about playing the game, and me and Dave have played the game.
Yeah, we have.
And so I think the big kind of announcement which just they dropped in was, oh yeah, on PlayStation 4, play the alpha, this week. And we already did, and you can see we've got some gameplay on the channel going up later on today. Actually, it's a half an hour of Destiny gameplay with me and Dave doing it.
I think we should reiterate, I'm not sure everyone got it at the conference.
Yeah.
Like, you can play Destiny on Thursday in your house.
if you want to, yeah. Just
In
play
You
it.
your
can
own
do
house.
that.
And before that, you can see us play it, which is almost.
Yeah, if you've got a PlayStation 4, download it on Thursday. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, and then GTA 5. Right.
Yeah.
One of just like the most ridiculous amount of speculation I think I've ever seen on the internet ever. Was GTA 5 has finally been announced for PlayStation 4. It's going to look beautiful. Everything we saw on camera was taken, I believe, direct capture.
Yeah.
So-
Really cool. And yeah, drop my.
And same with The Last of Us. The Last of Us got its date at the end of July, and it just kind of makes me realise what I'm going to be playing on my PlayStation 4 this summer and autumn at games that I finished last year. But again, because they look incredible.
They look great.
But then Rob is Last of Us, incredible looking.
Yeah. Well, it looks amazing before. It looks absolutely amazing before. Now it looks a bit more amazing.
I haven't got any more reaction left for you, What do you want
Yeah.
from me?
To be honest, it could look exactly the same. I'd like to play it again
Yeah.
just
And
with a
you
DualShock
transfer
4.
your save from PS3 and Xbox 360 to PS4.
Oh, on GTA.
On GTA
Yeah, online, yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, provocative. That was.
And was provocative.
Yeah.
That's a good way of describing it.
Shots fired.
Andy House being provocative on stage.
Yeah, no, I agree.
We also saw some announcements for PlayStation TV and some more stuff about PlayStation Now. Mainly a lot of it with American kind of release dates. So if we have some more European stuff soon, we'll kind of let you know.
Me and Dave played another beta today. Have we
You
talked about
did?
that yet?
No.
I
I've
can segue
I've been
into
waiting
it
for a
now.
siren so we could, we could do the link. But we played. We were at the EA conference. Then at the end of it, and again, like a bit of a Destiny moment, they kind of said, and the beta's going to be out. Well, it's out now. You can just go now and play it on PlayStation 4. And then, like a Bond villain, they kind of pulled back loads of curtains, and it's also in the room, everybody. And
We're talking about Battlefield Hardline, by the way.
Yeah,
So
also they
that.
haven't introduced what you're talking about, but it is Battlefield Hardline.
I never said I was.
which is kind of Battlefield with a kind of more cops and robbers kind of feel to it. Looks really, really cool.
It's like Heat if Heat was a Michael Bay movie instead of a Michael Mann movie.
But this is kind of like that whole idea of just like making these now, just keeping things secret, and then making these big like, and
wasn't
it's available now.
Yeah.
Entwined did the same thing, which is a beautiful little indie game where you're like a fish and a bird that love each other but can't be together because they're a fish and
Aw,
a
that
bird.
made me sad.
But they turn
looked
into a dragon.
beautiful.
They
Yeah.
fused into a dragon and it's out now.
And it's out now.
The two bits of
And I thought it was
information I need
incredible.
from this
I
game.
thought it was beautiful anyway. So I probably think, looking at my list now of everything we're going to cover, the best way to end it is probably the way we ended the conference. The thing that made Rob's face melt.
Yeah.
Uncharted 4.
Just the first few seconds of the trailer, I was like watching it, just kind of, Rob was on this side of me, just aware of this kind of high frequency vibrating going on.
Well, I was sat right next to him, and there was just all there was sobbing and swearing.
Yeah. Well,
and a hand on my knee.
God's sake, did you see his face though? Did you see Nathan Drake's face on PS4?
It felt like maybe it was the first
A
time
photo of a man that then moved,
animated,
and realised that's a game. And then he went on the floor.
Yeah. It's like I'm watching it again.
Wow.
Yeah.
It looked great. It looks so
looks
much
amazing.
better than everything else. It's embarrassing.
The graphicsosity was high, but also for me, like just seeing him, he was wearing his kind of cross-back leather gun holder, and he walked into, and it reminded me so much of the first
one.
Yeah, the environment.
Exactly, like old school.
But just how good was it just to hear him and Sully again, just chatting?
Well, Uncharted 4, a thief's end, and if that means that they're killing Sully, I'm gonna write a letter.
Yeah.
Strongly worded letter. Nathan's good with words.
I know.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe it's just like the thieving's just going to end. You know, they're just going to settle down together, maybe.
Well, we were talking about this. Yeah, they could become the lovejoy of the PlayStation world.
Just a lovejoy.
Steal antiques.
We've also decided that most people watching this probably aren't our age and British, and probably don't know what lovejoy is. You can wiki it.
Don't.
Just imagine Al Swearingen from Deadwood just selling candelabras at the weekend.
Just watch Uncharted 4.
Alright,
excited about that.
Yeah, that's probably the most important.
Yeah. I think that's probably our conference. We've touched on as much as we can. There really was so much stuff. Devolver Digital showed a ton of stuff that they're bringing to PlayStation. Well, there's loads there. But we're going to have so much coming from E3. If there's a particular game that you are desperate for us to hunt down because you want to know more, leave it in the comments below. We will shake PRs until they give us we'll find you. Yeah. So please subscribe to the channel. We've got loads more coming up from E3, and of course everything from the world of PlayStation.